Hello, everybody. We're back again for another episode of Dear Denison. This time, a very special edition, sports edition. Ain't that right, Ellie?
Yeah, we got two of our campus athletes here. We've got basketball and softball, and they're going to tell you a little bit about their experience as being an athlete on campus.
So, what we wanted to do for this was we have Freeman here and Maggie here, and I'll let them introduce themselves. But a lot of admitted students come in wanting to play sports and who are committed to play sports here at Denison. So, Freeman, can you tell us a little bit about who you are, what sports you play, and a little bit about your involvement on campus?
Yeah, what's up, guys? I'm Freeman. I'm a junior on the basketball team. I'm involved in quite a few things. I'm the co-president of DIG, the Denison Inclusion Group. I'm a member of DSAC, and I think that's about it. But yeah, I'm always around, and you always see my face, especially at Denison.
Can you tell us for the viewers who don't know what is DIG and DSAC?
Yeah, so DIG is the Denison Inclusion Group, or the Diversity and Inclusion Group on campus. And it was started as a place, kind of a safe space for people to be able to talk about issues of diversity and inclusion. But we're trying to make it more of stretching outwards and try to make like events and stuff to push past and be more than just a space, but more like an active group on campus. And then DSAC is the Student Advisory Council on campus, where it's a lot of setting up things, a lot of fundraising for like events and whatnot.
And those both for the sports groups? Are those
Yeah.
that and your majors?
Yes, I'm economics and communication.
Bet that's dope. Thank you, Freeman. Maggie, what about you?
Hi, I'm Maggie Ballentine. I am a sophomore from Crown Point, Indiana. I am a poli-sci and Spanish major, and I am on the varsity softball team as well. I'm also in DSAC. I specifically work with like Special Olympics and organizing and fundraising for that. And then I also work in the training room as a first aider and COVID tester this year, which has been really cool.
Wow. So
Maggie, what's your major? Sorry, Ray. Just before we continue, what are your major or minor at Denison?
Oh, I am poli-sci, political science, and Spanish.
Yeah, awesome. I think you already said that. Oops. Oh well.
You're good. You're good, Ellie. I understand.
Ellie, do you want to take it away with our first prompt?
Yeah, of course. So Ray and I were trying to think of like good things to ask student athletes because I'm not an athlete at all. And I don't know, I think Ray did play sport. Did you play sport at one point?
I played sport in high school, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I did not. So but like something that I would want to know, and maybe like other people would want to know is what's it like a day in the life of a student athlete? Like what does your schedule look like? What are the difficulties each day that you face from being an athlete, and what are like the joys?
Yeah, I can start, and don't let Ray downplay it. I've heard Ray's pretty good at basketball. So, but I would say like my life is a lot of being on the go, and I like that a lot because like I feel like in a lot of aspects of the world is you're just kind of like there, you're sitting down and you're not doing much, but it's fun, especially for me so I'll usually get up pretty early, like try to get breakfast, and then like I'll have an early class or two, and then I'll try to stay like on a quad, which is the academic quad, and just get all my homework done. And then after that, we usually have practice around 7. And then like by that time I'm pooped, I'm tired. I'll try to get dinner at Huffman, and then usually finish out homework or try to do something to just take my mind off the game, because like practice is always intense and always fun. So it's nice to get a little break in the afternoon. So I try to get all my homework done during the day and then be able to have like the afternoon to myself whenever practice ends.
Is it like a toll on your body, like academics and like giving your full attention to your academics like one half of the day, and then like, oh, I got to get to practice, and it's just like you putting all your energy in that? Like, what's that like?
Yeah, I think it does take a toll if you're not mentally ready for it. We do a lot of like mindfulness, mental health things to help like prepare yourself and get mentally ready for the change. I know for me, like it wasn't easy going from practice or lift in the morning or workouts in the morning and then running to class and then running around. I think like the more you get used to it and the more you're able to like mentally be prepared for that switch is makes it acceptable and makes it a lot more manageable. I know, I'm sure Maggie has her own ways, but like for us, we'll like actually sit down and take the time to do mindfulness training where it's like sitting down, taking 10 minutes to actually meditate and like just clearing your mind so you're not having so much of a toll.
Hmm. Maggie, what about you?
Yeah, the softball team specifically has a program that we do for mindfulness. So we do journaling after practice, and we do like a short meditation before practice, which is just kind of like a moment to like step away and be ready to just focus on practice because all of the work up the hill is so important. We are D3 athletes. Like, we came here for an education. We want to be focused on our future and get to be student athletes at the same time. And I think that's a big mentality of a lot of the kids here. Um, my day is very similar to Freeman's. I'm an early riser. I get up and walk to class with one of my teammates and eat breakfast while she's in her Zoom class. And then just kind of go through my day until I get to practice. I work a shift Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the training room during the day just to, do my part, keep the campus safe, I guess. I don't know. And then really just like after practice, I just like homework and eat. The biggest thing I would say for like incoming student athletes, at least for me, is like go to a Denison camp if you have the opportunity. Like see what the environment is so you know what you're prepared for. And then also like do your summer workout packets. I think that was something that me and my other classmates kind of didn't realize was going to be so important, was be prepared with the material that your coach give you to be prepared.
Yeah, going with that, that's something that was really big for me. I think like with kind of what Maggie was saying was being prepared. I think if you do the work early and before you even get to campus, you're in shape and you're mentally ready and you've done your little calculus math books or whatever, it makes having or making that transition a whole lot easier if you are prepared, like Maggie said.
Mm. Ellie, I don't know about you, but one thing I've always wondered is just like being a student athlete and then being on like a such, intimate campus where like everyone is so like, outgoing a lot of the times and there's a lot going on. Do you guys ever feel, and Ellie, feel free to like piggyback, do you guys ever feel like disconnected from campus because you're, in your sports bubbles and sometimes like you can miss out on some things that are happening on
Yeah,
campus? Does that make sense?
that's something I've heard a couple of people say that I'm friends with that are athletes, is that in the beginning, or maybe not so much as they become upperclassmen, but in the beginning it was very much like the only people they know is their teammates.
Right.
And it's very like, like the athletes like do tend to hang out in their teams because you guys spend so much time together, like it makes sense. But like what's your take on that?
I think I can talk about that. I think personally it's everybody's own experience. I mean, at the beginning, I definitely think it was very easy to just cling to my teammates, especially like the culture shock of coming to a different environment. But I think it's everyone's own personal experience. Like, I hang out with people on the football team now and the basketball team, and I hang out with Ellie, who I actually met in my theater class that we took together. So, I think it's really just what you decide to do. I mean, if you want to be a homebody and just spend time with your teammates, I think that can be your experience, but I don't think it has to be by any means. We take such diverse classes here at Denison as part of like our liberal arts education that allows you to like, hey, like I hang out with these people because we work on Spanish homework together and, different kinds of things like that.
Yeah, to piggyback off that, like for me, I live with like all football guys and I'm on the basketball team. So I think like it's 100% what you make of the experience. They have, I think a big thing for an incoming person would be to take a whole bunch of intro level classes your first semester, your first year, and don't be afraid to reach out to somebody. My advisor like gave us this sheet. I'm not sure if they still do it, but it was like every single class, find two people, write their phone numbers down, and like you don't have to make it as formal as a sheet, but it's like write their phone numbers down, write down their name, and then anytime like, hey, even if you don't need help with an assignment, be like, hey, you want to study for this together? Because I guarantee you, you'll at least, worst case scenario is you'll have a study buddy for if you happen to miss class, you can at least get the notes. Worst case scenario, and like having that like I actually used that, and I didn't like officially write down their phone numbers, but I like try to find somebody in every single class, like, hey, like I kind of know you, like I see you around, you live in my hall, you live in my residence hall, like let's hang out, let's get lunch, or like let's study together. And I think like integrating that early for me was just like I love having my basketball friends, but also love having like my random friends that I'll see around campus. I'm like, oh hey, we took like dance together and used to do pop locking and dropping it, and now we're like homies. And it's like that experience I think was really valuable to me, was having like that each person in one class is just like, even if somebody you don't know, somebody you never talked to, like find one person in every class. And then that's freshman year, you have 8 random friend groups just like that.
Yeah, that's like really sweet, and that's such a good idea too. And people are genuinely so friendly, and 9 times out of 10 they're on the same boat as you. So yeah, that's a brilliant idea. Don't be afraid to reach out and talk to people in your classes.
And also, I think this call is a prime example, which is talking about Freeman, like how Maggie just talked about her, how she built her relationship with Ellie in the class they took, and now they on the soft, they work in tandem with softball because Ellie's the manager, and like they built that relationship. And me and Freeman, like I didn't meet Freeman because I was on the basketball team. Like I met Freeman just roaming around campus, and we take a class together, and me and Freeman became cool just like that. And it's just like those type of relationships is what I think makes everything so special, even when you play sports, when you don't play sports. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, that's like what I always talk about is the Denison experience is about like those random friendships that like you wouldn't normally have, but at Denison it's just like me and Ray. I don't even know how I met Ray, but we've just been homies since day one. It's always love and it's always respect. It's always like, yo, Ray, what's up? Like, what we doing? It's just like, I don't know that much about Ray. We might not hang out like every day, but it's like if I see Ray, it's always love. And I think that's just like the Denison experience is just taking those relationships and not taking them for granted.
I kind of want to shift gears a little bit before we have to close out. But I do want to know like 3 things maybe. First off, is there like a funny, like can you give us like a funny moment in like your sports career, or like something funny that's happened within you or your team, or just like in general that's just like really cool but also really goofy, if you could think of one. And then one piece of advice for incoming student athlete, and then maybe a highlight of your sports career so far. And if the highlight is like intent, like intertwined with the funny thing, then that could be it too. But um but what do you think about that?
I can start. I think one of the really big funny moments would be last year. It was one of our last games that we got to play, but we swore that the bus had square wheels. Like we were like, we should have seatbelts on. Like this is not okay. Like but we ended up texting in our group chat, and the whole bus was laughing, and we were just like firing shots at people, like back and forth. And my coach like turned around and was like, "What is everybody laughing at?" So that was one of our cool moments because I mean I'm only a sophomore and I really didn't get a season last year, so it's we haven't had great highlights, but definitely our final game that we got to play, we were able to honor our seniors, and we were actually one of the last athletic games that was played in the nation, like at any level, before like the pandemic started. So we were very thankful to get that last game where we could like send out these great players that have definitely impacted our program. And then my advice would definitely be to do your summer workout packet for committed athletes. Be ready to go when you get here. It won't be as hard if you're prepared, for sure.
Great advice. Great advice.
Yeah. So I guess my funny moment, I guess trying to keep it as PG as possible. There's a lot of after every game on the bus ride home, we'll always have memes. We'll have like a little meme war. And so like whether that's like one day we had like this really bouncy bus, and so people were always making jokes about how like our Jimmy Johns was flying out of our hands and how we were just getting thrown around. I don't know if anybody there's a video, and it's like people driving a boat and they all just get like flown around on the boat and they all fly out. We were all like making memes with that. So it's always fun, like just having like the bus rides and whatnot and having those like experiences even outside of sport. I think so. My advice would be to like utilize and like don't take for granted those opportunities. And like there's so many resources around you, especially at Denison, whether that's like just having like finding friends or asking your teacher for help or asking your coach for help or like using the Knowlton Center to help write your resume. Like there's so many resources that I've been able to use and so many that I haven't even been able to use that I know have helped other people that are there for the taking. Like I had um, a career coach who helped me write my whole resume and helped me get an internship. And I'm sure Ray has used this Knowlton Center as well. Like use some of those resources. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And your teachers want to help you.
Mhm.
Like that's a huge thing is like, especially at Denison, everybody around you wants to help you. And that's like the big reason why I chose Denison and why I love Denison.
Great advice. I think this has been really helpful for student athletes coming in. We have two amazing student athletes here who just gave us some really great information. Ellie, what's next? Thank
Well,
you, guys.
thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for coming. This will be where it always is on YouTube and on Spotify. And yeah, like thank you for being awesome and being our guests. And to everybody that's watching, like watch the next episode. I don't know what it will be, but like watch the next episode. We haven't thought that far in advance yet. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day.
Yeah, this is Dear Denison Sports Edition. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank
Bye.
you for having us.
Yeah,
Bye.
of course.
Thank you.